Beaulieu Abbey, a perfect setting for the first Watsonian sidecar rally to take place since the war. It is one of those rare days when the sun shines throughout the day, and just as well since there are no fewer than 15,000 visitors to the rally, the largest gathering and certainly the smartest turnout of motorcycle combinations for many years. While some of the contestants take time off for a little light-hearted fun with the children, there is one man upon whom the organization of the rally depends. Yes, it's Cliff Bennett, secretary of the rally, who spent an exciting time checking through the entries. And when there's all this silverware to be won, it's understandable that the crowds are anxious to hear the results. A tour around the enclosures and we find the Bambinis and other reinforced plastic sidecars and scooters being examined by Douglas Cope and Bert Perigo, a very famous name in trials. Here, the commercial Bambini sidecar. Note what a wonderful freedom of design is given by building it in reinforced plastics. And still, Douglas Cope and Bert Perigo give serious consideration to the most important task of the day. Yes, scooters are very much in evidence, and this combination has a foreign sidecar. But let's leave today's combinations and take a look at yesterday's. This three-wheel seal outfit of 1925 vintage has a steering wheel in the sidecar itself, a machine of great historical interest. A 1918 Lee Francis, which saw service in the First World War. And a Triumph, all of which helped to make the vintage and veteran class. And now to the homemade class. This model, designed for the whole family, seems to have been inspired by a London bus, and beautifully designed and built. A host of sidecars of as many shapes and designs, and in every case, superb workmanship. In another enclosure, we find the Canterbury sidecars, and this widescreen model is the winner in this class. George Wilson, the assistant editor of the motorcycle, takes an active interest, and he makes sure that he gets plenty of photographs for his next issue. Next to the Swallow enclosure. And what a beautiful piece of streamlining this is for the complete combination. But then the general standard is extremely high, which makes the task of the judges even more difficult. Here Bob Foster, famous racing motorcyclist, and Ken Wistons of Aerial Motors. They're judging this section, and they're in conference before deciding upon one of the winners. It looks as though the final decision has been made, and yes, it's this Jet 80 which has won first award, an outfit which is, incidentally, 4 years old. Another prize winner is this Oxford sidecar, and it attracts a lot of attention. It is interesting to see how the shape of the modern sidecar is evolving. Just look at these made from the conventional wood and metal construction, and compare them with the reinforced plastics molded sidecars with their great freedom of design. In the Watsonian sidecar enclosure, we see the same contrast between this Monaco sidecar and the more old-fashioned model, which is, nevertheless, extremely smartly turned out. Yes, there's no doubt about it. The Monaco certainly presents an extremely attractive job, and, like all other Watsonian reinforced plastic sidecars, is made from Bakelite polyester resins. Now just look at this reinforced plastics cowling built around the motorcycle itself, an unconventional feature in streamlining, and surprising how well it blends with its conventional sidecar. And yes, here are the first of the results. This one obviously owned by a family. And as other prize winners are made known, so the combinations are wheeled into the prize-winning enclosure. The outright winner of the long-distance trophy is 19-year-old John Kirkham, who came 477 miles on a BSA with a Watsonian sidecar. The first runner-up is William Rutherford, who came 347 miles on a Rudge, with again, yes, a Watsonian sidecar. And the second runner-up was Anthony Wolf, who travelled 341 miles on a Triumph with a Busmar sidecar. And the third runner-up was Ronald Gilbert, who came 326 miles on a Triumph, and once again a Watsonian sidecar. In the long-distance entries alone, there was a total of 6,754 miles covered by entrants. It is nearly 4 o'clock, time for the presentation of awards, and the crowds gather around the enclosure. Crowds who have travelled from all over the British Isles, and shortly to see Lady Montagu presenting the winners with their well-earned trophies. It is not long before the enclosure becomes tightly packed with the successful winners. But still they arrive. Lord and Lady Montagu examine the trophies to be presented, and seeing them, I have a feeling that Lord Montagu now wishes he'd entered the rally himself. Now that the last prize winner has entered the enclosure, Mr. Ronald Watson, Chairman and Managing Director of Watsonian Sidecars, introduces Lord Montagu, who expresses his enthusiasm for the occasion. As Lady Montagu steps forward to present the awards, she herself is the subject of a charming incident when little Martine Watson presents her with a bouquet of flowers. First to receive an award is John Kirkham, the outright long-distance winner. And next comes William Rutherford, who travelled all the way from Northumberland for the occasion. And Anthony Wolf, the second runner-up, long-distance award. And Ronald Gilbert, the third runner-up, who came 326 miles from Morecambe in Lancashire. Award after award is presented, and the many happy contestants prepare to head for home with their treasured prizes. The less fortunate, content with having spent a happy day in the beautiful grounds of Beaulieu Abbey, and hoping that they too may win an award at the next Watsonian Sidecar Rally. But meanwhile, let us dwell upon the Bambini, a modern sidecar made with modern materials called reinforced plastics. Reinforced plastics are tough, light in weight, and can be formed by what is known as the wet layout process. The finish of final moulding depends largely upon the finish of the mould itself. Firstly, a coating of wax polish. And secondly, an even coating of specially formulated release agent. Two types of resin mix are used in the manufacture of reinforced plastics mouldings, the gel coat and the laminating mix. In both cases, all the ingredients must be carefully measured and mixed if good results are to be achieved. A small quantity of the resin is added to a filler and mixed to a smooth paste. Next, the accelerator, which hastens the chemical reaction, is carefully measured and added. And then a pre-weighed amount of pigment paste, which gives the moulding its colour. Followed by the remainder of the resin. To ensure that all the ingredients are thoroughly dispersed, a mechanical mixer is used. The laminating mix is prepared in a similar manner to the gel coat, but this time using a different grade of resin. The gel coat is applied by brushing onto the prepared mould surface an even layer some 10 to 20 of an inch thick. That is approximately 2 to 3 ounces of material per square foot of mould. The gel coat is then allowed to gel and reach an almost tack-free condition. Laminating or laying up can now begin. First, after adding the required amount of catalyst, a layer of the laminating mix is brushed onto the gel coat. And the first layer of glass mat placed in position with about 1 inch extending beyond the mould so that a satisfactory edge can be obtained on trimming. More resin is added to ensure that the glass mat is completely wetted out and that there are no starved areas on any part of the mould. Next comes the rolling process. Rolling is a vital operation as it brings as much resin as possible through the glass mat. The resin glass mat operation is repeated to build up the required thickness and to give the sidecar the necessary strength and rigidity. Once again ensuring that the glass mat is thoroughly wetted with resin. After the layup has been allowed to gel at room temperature, the moulding is trimmed and then cured or hardened in an oven. Once cured, the moulding is removed from the mould and is ready to be joined to its bottom half, which has been made by the same technique. The bottom half, which contains a built-in wooden floor, is placed in a jig. The top moulding located on it and secured in position with rubber springs. Polyester resin and glass fibre is again used, this time to bond the reinforced plastic's wheel arch into position and as an adhesive to join the two halves firmly together. And the Bambini now begins to take shape. Built-in colour, pleasing lines, weather resistance, freedom from rust. These are just a few of the outstanding advantages enjoyed by reinforced plastics mouldings such as the Bambini. In this modern age, where new materials are needed both to build the present and to shape the future, reinforced plastics have an important part to play.